done there from Brogster. Not double jumping, being patient. That's what we talk about. Don't need to be sprinting next to him. Use those fast-paced speed. Got to be keeping an eye out on those heartbeats. No, it's incredibly difficult as we get closer to the second placement threshold. 17 players remaining, and the 7th zone is closing.
And of course, it wouldn't be a game if we weren't trying to traverse Father Mountain. Oh, thankfully, the storm goes in the completely opposite direction. It was just a tease. It was just a joke, but look down below. Rapid gets picked up. Holds 45 there. Going to be going toe-to-toe up on the high ground, though. Lore here is going to be battling it out with Lore the second. So, Lore.
You're Lore. There we go. Top 10 here. Lore on the high ground.
All right, a bunch of players have fallen. We're now 7 players remain. Great Shadow Bomb to keep Lore here, just ensuring no fall damage is taken. Look at everyone else. They're deep within the builds. You've got 2 players down below that aren't building. They've got to be out of materials. Can Lore take advantage of the Brogster up on top? He still has them. But look at everyone down below. Everyone else is battling it out right now.
Yeah, we're into the top 5, top 4 now. Brogster top right on the high ground. He says, no, I don't need high ground. Let's just join the fray down here. Only 1 tarp above. Lore gets Mo and gets the mats from it. There, Brogster gets I Am Charo. Lore has a shadow if he wants to try and retake. Zone is closing. Also has 75 to the 24 build, but Brogster doesn't care. Shoot first, ask questions later. Brogster putting pressure onto Lore. Knows the zone is there. Lore tries to dip out and around, but too clever for your own good. Brogster, 5 elims and the victory royale, 15 points there to push him up to 32. That match was ridiculous, but for now, we're going to throw it back on over to Courage, who's in the studio.
Thank you, gentlemen. Yes, great energy from Zeke and Sundown. What you don't see behind the scenes is Zeke currently taking his shoes off, got the socks out.
He honestly looks extremely relaxed.
He's looking real comfortable, but the energy's there. I like it. I respect it. I love hearing those two on the mic. Courage joined by Dr. Lupo as we catch up to speed on a few things going on while the NA West action unfolds. Obviously intense down to the wire in some of those games right there. Arkham with a big performance. We saw Jarvis with an unfortunate demise there in 16th place, but Ben, I know you've got some things you want to show us.
It's actually funny you mentioned both of those players, Jarvis. Harrians as well on that list, and Arkham to end it. We have a set of replays. We're going to look at all 3 players and what they've done thus far for NA West. Pretty crazy how fast-paced things happen in these games, and I think NA West is one. They don't shy away from, the pace of what we've seen from EU and NA East. Shots inside a box, awareness, very, very important at Fortnite. See, Harrians here, a number of plays repeatedly showing. He's got the awareness, the ability to build up. Basically chasing his own rocket down in that clip right there to match a player elevation, shots from above, swap out the RPG, one of the most powerful weapons late game, especially when you have a swarm of players underneath. Repeated shots. Give me a combat shotgun and an RPG in a high-skilled player's hands, and I guarantee you'll see a feed.
Right.
It's going to be absolutely ridiculous. Matching height there, catching Psycho on the rotation down, but like you said, Aaron's not the only player from NA West putting on a good show. Jarvis, you mentioned shots on the outside, little peek shot on another player, getting third party, taking opportunities every time they have a chance. Very, very important that players are paying attention to who's around them and what exactly they're doing and maybe what other people are doing to them. Jarvis says the impulse over the top, flying away there. Get an escape. You got a landing on top of another baller player. Papo Anthony goes down and picks up a quick little set of loot. We've seen those kind of chases pretty often, too. You have players that are flying through the air, and they'll follow someone on a redeploy or baller, the Rift to go, and landing literally inside the same box, taking ownership of it. You mentioned Arkham. Here, patience is so key. We're in the top 5 at the very end here, and Arkham sitting on the ultimate low ground, waiting for players literally to drop in. Like that, Deuces goes down, another one, and Arkham's just going for a flick, looking for the next, finds a follow-up. Another one, back to back to back to back, and Arkham doesn't even need to climb his way out until the very last second. And even then, Barl goes down to himself.
Yeah.
The feed, Arkham took it over. NA West, just top-tier awareness, but still at 49 points, still in first place. Pika from WBG, but Harrians right here. We saw a ton of clips from him at the beginning of the set of replays there.
Yep.
Taking second place
Pika,
so far.
Pika, 3 games played, 3 wins. Thankfully for everyone else on this list, Pika already qualified. So because Pika's already qualified, it would be players in second and third if it would remain this same score line. We'll see if that happens, though, Dr. Lupo. So far, NA West looking great. Obviously, still some time to queue. So that being said,
Throw it back, Jack.
Maybe send it back on over to our casters to keep the action going. Zeke and Sundown, take it away.
Thank you guys so much. Oh, did I cut you off? You want to do it? All right, let's pretend
Oh, no, that's fine. You can take it. It was cool. I didn't have my hand up or anything. It's fine. Too busy showing everyone how you're lounging.
Yeah, no, I feel...
Did you use the hashtag Fortnite World Cup?
I did.
Oh,
in
okay,
fact.
good.
Yeah, so just for your context, in case you're just tuning in, Dr. Lupo and CurtJD decided to go ahead and call me out, expose me, say that I'm straight lounging right now. If you check Twitter, it's true. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's just Zeke low-key trying to plug his Twitter there. Don't give him the impression.
I didn't say anything.
About
Didn't say anything.
Oh, yep, nothing low-key about it. Indeed, as we're all here on board with Dexstar. 43 players left in the lobby, and it's about to crunch it down. And again, you saw the standings right before this. That was basically a who's who of who hasn't qualified yet in terms of the NA West side. Minus Pika, all of those other players have been so absurdly close. CJ, Harrians, Domo, all of them have been up on that board, and this is the last opportunity. Cannot stress that enough. The final 2 solo spots will be decided in this last block. If you want to be on the stage, you have to put up or shut up right now. Because if you don't, you're going to be sitting there and you're going to be regretting it. You're going to be feeling like you didn't accomplish it. But one other thing that I desperately have to state. Just because you don't qualify for New York City means you're a bad Fortnite player. Anytime you make it to Sunday in your region, you are in the very top percentile of the people who play this game. There are millions and tens of millions of people who have tried and played Fortnite. Don't get discouraged. You are incredibly good. You are among the best of the best. If you want to continue taking it seriously, there will be something to play for. It's not going anywhere. There's always going to be more Fortnite games to play, whether it's community events or other things. You can find ways to improve. You can go through, you can watch the VODs, you can pick yourself up, you can talk to another player, or similar to what the S2 guys did, find like-minded players, join one of those friend groups, ask players for advice, keep pushing yourself, because you're not going to get better by giving up. And hey, if you do want to give up and it's not for you, that's also okay. There are a ton of other games out there, and gaming is not just a singular thing. Games are fantastic, particularly with E3 going on, a bunch of new and fantastic titles out there that deserve to be celebrated. But right now, we're here playing Fortnite, trying to decide those final 2 spots, and Andrew picks up Uncle Iroh. That's the T right there.
I love every time you make that reference.
It's so good.
It is very, very good. These references are next level. Just to expand a tiny little baby bit on that, you know, we get it. We know it's a very difficult competition. We understand that, you know, it means the world to qualify, and if you don't, it feels like the weight of the world is just on top of you, and you doubt everything, your skill, your ability to play all these things. But we promise you, you are here for a reason. You've made it to the top 3,000 in your respective region because of how incredible at Fortnite and how skilled you are as a player. So keep your head up, keep grinding, keep your head up, keep pushing. I promise, it'll all pay off in the end. Hashtag Fortnite World Cup, man.
And
Never
also,
forget.
hey, hashtag Fortnite World Cup. What did your improvement look like over the course of the World Cup? Did you get more points? Did you have one of those days that were really good for you? What was your story like? How was it competing in the first open tournament, in the largest open tournament that has been run? Let us know, because we want to hear about it. We want to know what your experience was like, what you liked, and what you didn't like. Give us some of the positives in there so we're able to iterate on all of that stuff. But as we said now, pressure plant going through, geysers going, and Terrainy is extending his shadow form because, as we said, his feet doesn't touch the ground. So that answers the question about what that interaction looks like. The real question is, if he hung out on a zip line, would he still just stay in that shadow form? Who knows? Top 25 placement points are abound, and Terrainy now has priority on the zone. He's going to look back and try and catch all the people who are hot feeding right by, but that is an incredibly tough shot to hit. 23, and does he get meteored by the other player? He does. He's in the box. He's stuck in there. Doesn't look like the player recognizes, so he's just gonna boop right out the side in a box with the baller player. One trap down, finds doesn't find the trap, but finds the shot because Cryo has to move to the other side. 16 players remaining. Harrians and Andrew still in the lobby. Nobody wants to be the last one. Trap fires. Player gets to the opposite side, puts the ramp down. Terrainy being like, nah, I'm not dealing with that. Bernie picks up Oppo Whip, and we have our top 15. Harrians gets Kytrex, and Rick gets Orba, and the lobby is thinning fast.
Exactly, and look at this. Another one just picked up like that. We're nearing top 5 so quickly. But look at this. You still have people all the way around. Players being eliminated left and right. Up on the high ground, though, Hustle and Allrum looks like they're going to contest right now. Harrian says, everyone up top, go ahead and come on down. I'd like to just go ahead and send you back to the lobby. So there you go. Now, Hustle did not drop all the way down. He still has the highest ground tarp, so he's just going to keep applying pressure from above. Now, I'm curious, does Harrians have more rockets? Okay, you answered my question. Thank you. Did you read my mind? How did he know?
Right on up there, you see Andrew picks up drip traits, but Hustle starting to row kind of thin on mats. He has 22 left, but it should be okay to hold high ground for now. Is dealing with no, he picked up ammo from that last Elam, so he's okay. Dexterity picks up J Roses, and we're into the top 5. Harrians goes down just inside of it. Tyranny picks up Dexterity now, so 1v1 between Tyranny and Hustle. Tyranny up on the high ground. Hustle going to take it away. Double ramps out into the side. 90 and then reverse flips it, but gets coned off by Tyranny. Great cone there, so Hustle now going to drop back down. One thing to note though, Hustle has the bandages, but no builds. If it goes to full close and he's okay, it should go to him. The difference between bandages versus a slurp and a campfire is minuscule, but Hustle slips up, only had the 50 HP, and gets taken out by a very slight change in elevation. That's not Old Man Mountain, that's like the newborn hill, but it was enough.
It was enough. I love fighting Volcano because it just makes like the action feel more action movie. It's like we're fighting over lava. Who will win? Food. Oh, between the slats. Hashtag Fortnite World Cup. Send observers your love. That was dope. All right, I liked that one. That was a pretty dang good one. I liked it. But look at this, Rux. Rux hasn't qualified, right? No, Pika and Rux have qualified. Excuse me,
They've qualified in solos, haven't qualified as a duo.
Yes, so one more opportunity in this next weekend to try and come through.
Actually, it will be on the Thursday and Friday, June 20th and 21st because of those changed times. Also, don't forget those hours have been pushed back, and the prize pools have been doubled for that rescheduling. Again, you can see the qualification spots on the right-hand side. 19 were up for grabs today. 17 have gone down, and 2 more are available here in the West. Who will be able to take one away as Rux begins spraying shots out there, swaps to the combat, gets a 12 and a 9 tag there, so knows the player is on whites but won't be able to find it. Instead, gets mitts with a little bit of help from the Storm.
Man, another dense lobby. Now keep in mind, we're coming, the circle is already moving. The Storm circle is already moving. We're getting closer to that Storm Circle 6. Rux here, a little bit of a tough spot. He's going to go ahead and get that launch pad, get himself out of dodge, and begin his rotation. Question is, where does he want to land? He probably could have challenged that player, but I think it's a little bit smarter. Just go to the edge of that next storm zone, get yourself to safety, establish, and then see where the next zone is. Right? It's again, every interaction matters. Every decision they make is literally going to make or break their game.
So on that rotation in and of itself, you have 2 choices when you're going through. You can come down on the very near side of the zone where there's going to be more players, but you want to land towards an edge because the next circle goes outside of the bounds of the safe zone. If you don't go to an edge and you go to the middle, you're guaranteed a rotation no matter what. Whereas if you do get an edge, you're either on the backside and have to rotate right away, or everyone rotates into you. So the safe calculated play is you put yourself in the middle for an even rotation, but that means you're in the middle of the rotation and guaranteed have to rotate. So if you put yourself towards the side with mixed utility, you at least have a chance of hitting the zone. But then on the flip side, if it goes back to the opposite side, it's really rough. Most of the times during that overlapping zone, I'd say you want to go far side simply because the near side's going to be stacked and there's less threats there. So even if you do have to rotate away, most players aren't rotating all the way over there. As you can see Sealmat doing right now and then turning about face. Sees all the players dropping down from the sky. And that was the slow redeploy. That's what I'm talking about. If you go to press space, as somebody knocks your ramp out from under you, you'll be stuck in that slow redeploy forever. But Sealmat opts not to punish that player, instead swaps targets onto gun deals and swats him out of the sky, swapping his name from Epic Whales Duo back to Sealmat so we can give him the credit where credit is due without undue confusion.
Dang it, you literally stole my joke. I was gonna say, man, I'm so happy to see that Sealmat has changed his name from Epic Whales Duo to his real name so we can give him the credit. Dang it, Sundown. It's like you
where's
read
the joke
mine.
there?
No, it wasn't like a joke. I'm just
okay.
saying that was like.
Oh, it's one of your jokes. Got it.
Yeah, so it's not
As
funny.
we hit top 25 there, Pearl taking out Hitmarker and Sealmat getting over to the far side. 3 points for everyone. Top 15 will be the next one for an additional 2 points, and then top 5 in the Victor Royale after that. But Sealmat wants the points from the Elims. You can see the baller kind of griefing him a little bit there, just hitting the spacebar, knocking the builds, not letting him be safe. But Anjul gets picked up. Brilliantly done there from Sealmat, and now going to opt to pop the shadow and get on out.
I like that rotation because typically when you do with a door and you use a shadow bomb and then you open the door, players know to laser the door instantly because you're going to be coming out as a shadow. If you edit up and then you just bounce out of the box, no one can really tell where you are, and it makes you way more difficult target to hit. That's dope.
Adapting, man, like we said, everyday people pushing the limit. But now we got Buphack up on the high ground. Boombo in combat shotgun, sitting on full draw right now, has an explosive shotgun round ready to go in case anybody gets greeted by it. Sees the shadow player, not able to find the first hit. Baller right next to him, just pickaxe him. That works too. You can send him on down, but he's gonna be able to catch himself. See if he had pickaxed him there.
He would've got
gone out in the storm. Would have got an Elim.
Yep.
Just saying, 200 IQ.
You know what I'm curious about? I know.
So that's another thing.
Okay.
It's top 15, so that's a 3-point swing there. But an explode or any AoE damage that hits a baller, if it breaks it, will crack through. Buphack gets Wavy Jacob as well, the player who is in the top 5 tomorrow. So good high ground domination from him. But now back on board with Sealmat. 2 Elims and top 12 currently. Needs top 5 for the next round of points. But he also still has 3 stinks, Zeke.
These just increase in value over the course of the game, right? You got to think the stink bomb is a little bit larger than a 1x1 grid space. When you throw it in, especially in this tight of a corridor, you're going to get guaranteed damage. Remember, that's damage that ignores shields and hits directly to the health bar. If he just drops it down on the players down below, he's going to get a bunch of damage numbers, and he's going to be able to track them. Because remember, that damage number is ticking, and you can track where that number is coming from.
Drop it on the backside of the storm on low ground. Players will always be there. Always, no matter what. But right now you can see he's only on the 31 builds, trying to find a little bit of room to navigate. Finds a big pot, knows there's a player over on the side. This is when you should be using those stinks. They are going to get to a critical point where you will have no more area to get it. But Sealmat says, I know better. I'm going to stick to that combat shotgun. Top 5, top 4 now as Pearl gets end picks. Pearl on the high ground. Buphack on the tarp beneath. Sealmat now on the mid tarp. So now Buphack on ultimate low. And there it is. Drop down the stink. Drop down a rocket as well. Sealmat got the last up. Buphack, that's the wrong way. Flint knocks out into the storm. Sealmat should just drop another stink on the low ground. Oh no! He put it in his own box! He put it in his own box! So Fetty got the tick over onto it because he was the last one who tagged him forever ago. Pearl got the tick as well. 17 points for Pearl, but that's rough. You know what? That's just one of those ones where you wake up in the morning and you're like, yep, it was just right before lift up the covers. You smelt it, you dealt it. Real rough there, taking yourself out. Not about the Dutch oven there, but hopping into the next match. Tracer, Lior, Poser, Kicks all over by Pleasant Park. You have Doten in the corner, and Tracer has a nice little loadout, 6 shadows with the combat. Also has a tower built up, so might have a little bit of extra resources underneath, and has priority rotation on the zone. You can see right on the edge of the Pleasant Park circle.
Yeah, I mean, right now, at this point, he could just look to gatekeep players as they're trying to get themselves into safety. I want to see, though, I was going to say, I want to see like a wide shot. I want to see more of what's going on here in Pleasant Park. A lot of players are on that outside edge, and they need to start making their way in. You can tell, right? There's players that have already established themselves in this new safe zone. Now it's about everyone else. How do they get in? Are their rotations safe? Do they have long rotations? Does someone around them have a potential launchpad or rift that they could use? Do they have that utility? So many possible decisions. Look at that. Choi, he was flying in the air and just gets ripped to shreds. He's not been eliminated, not yet, but he is in definite critical condition. Bolt Johnny, they're going to be picked off in 38th place. Rough, not the worst, but rough for sure.
That's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad.
That's pretty bad. I'm not in terms of like, getting to 38th is bad, but playing 18 minutes or whatever in a game to get to the 5th circle and then being dropped out before placement points, Doesn't feel good as a player. Tracer now popping the shadow, going to opt to try and find a little bit of room. You can see, again, the players gravitate more towards the outside of this fifth circle. Radiant Bricks picks up last live Tracer, hitting the tree to get a little bit more, sitting on 5 elims and 5 smoke bombs. And now, while you're towards the outside of the circle, everyone on the eastern side of Pleasant now has priority on that zone, and players are going to have to go past. 35 players left. You can see everyone playing safe, playing dense. Nobody wants to get picked off right here. We've talked about it before. The placement threshold is kind of the barrier. Like, hey, was this an acceptable game? You can't spend this much time in a match and not get placement points.
And here we go, man. Circle has started moving. Again, guys, every interaction matters. This is their last opportunity, the last few games they have on the server. Probably like about an hour left in queue time. Becca, can you help me out? Boom, 105 minutes. Thanks, Becca.
105 minutes?
Wait, what did is that
really,
what I said?
Zeke?
An hour and 5 minutes.
Really? Ah! Wow.
Anyway,
all right. Yeah,
34
we're just
players.
right back.
No, Becca, take that away. Remove the graphic. Becca, remove the
Fortnite
graphic.
World Cup. Can Zeke do math? The answer is no.
The answer is no.
Yes, we're not friends anymore. Now, Tracer here turns and picks up Pocket. And Sino gets Jarvis as well. The South Korean player taking him down there, representing from South Korea, as I said, from the Asia region, playing in Canada. Currently had a nice little Canadian flag there on his Twitter account. Yeah, I was trying to figure out, but I know he'd been asking, doing everything they can to try and get one of the solo spots there. You can see Sino in the bottom left, Persecute also in the lobby, Vide in the lobby, Fate Yonder, Wheels, Thai Tanks, TXG Temple, Dordan, Kaz, Coral, so many players. Kaz qualifying for the Fortnite World Cup creative side with one of the sickest trick shots during Ninja's thing, still into the top 25. So 3 points for everyone in the lobby. And Kaz goes down right there, a little bit of a caster curse. I apologize, but he did get his flu shot, so not gonna end up being sick. Kefu picks up Doten. Spook does get his shadow canceled, immediately gonna 90 up, box himself up and over, and he says, nah, I'm gonna pop another shadow and get out of dodge. This is risky. Needs to avoid getting metroed here, and he does. Puts enough space between him to get back over the backside of the zone. Nobody expects the reflank with the shadow. You expect him on the far side not to come back to the near, but Spook can't convert as Vide. Oh, as I say that, he drops down and chases Persecute. That's a 3-point swing as that even pushes us into the top 15.
Now top 5 is the next threshold, and this is where we're going to see players play a little more defensively. They want to hit top 5. Those extra 2 points are so crucial. Spook here doing his best impersonation of a spooky ghost, walking around that shadow bomb. He's gonna find a player, a 36. It is a headshot, but not a ton of damage. And look, he's got there in the pyramid. They're trying to keep themselves safe. He does get the ramp, and the players, they're just trying to abandon. They're like, no. I need to get myself to safety. I need to survive. Kefu going down in the top left to Yonder. Cherish Reality just gonna get ripped to shreds. 3 eliminations for Spook, and then Rocket. He's looking to fracture it all Sundown.
Oh, but he finds the player in the shadow form. Can he follow up on it? What?
Wait, what?
I didn't. Literally, I heard the audio cue as he turned and built. That was inhuman from Spook to be able to get that there. Sino picks up Dordan, and we're getting closer to that top 5. And one thing to note, once players hit the top 15, it's a little bit like, okay, I got my 5 placement points. I can kind of press it. This is a relatively successful game either way. And Synergy kicks on the high ground. 2 big pots, Shadow Bomb and a Rift. Little less valuable, but it's all about the rockets and the combat. He's going to start working top down and looking for those aim down sight shots. Holding his hard right hand, waterfalling another level, only about 3 or 4 up, and now he's going to start looking for shots. Misses the first, and sees 2 people get blown up. Leo and Yonder get blown up by Sino and Thai Tanks, and we have our top 5. 7 points for everyone in the lobby, and Kix is trying to go to work. This player holding him off, using the turbo build to just hold that box, and Kix says, okay, you can have it. I'm going up 1 more.
He does have a single RPG. He could just bring everything down or just save it and try to get a cheeky angle and just level everything down below. Now, keep in mind, he's got a great angle. He immediately just destroys that player there. They're going to just back to lobby. Good day, friend. Sinu there picked up as well. So who's left? I 3-box me or wide shot me.
That's
the rocket gonna come in.
That's it.
That's TIE tanks. Oh my God. Okay, who's down below? Who's still left?
I think he actually got a shield tag with that RPG. I assume this player is tagged out. That's why he's just playing defensively.
It was Spook.
No, but he did get a shield shot. Spook tried to be a spooky ghost there, but no. Flankerinos synergy kicks him out to the lobby, gets the victory royale, and closes that match out. Well done from him there, and just look at the run away from Pleasant. We pretty much head in a straight line there, but the action doesn't stop. 47 players here. You see Zucchini and Nico over here as well. And look in the bottom right-hand corner. We're over by Lonely, but look at the number of players who are in that next safe zone. There's only about 4 or 5 on the edge, and the other 40 players are going to have a long rotation over there. That's a lot of open space.
Yeah, we need either community launch pads, community rifts, shadow bombs, whatever it is. Ballers, just get yourself to safety. Now is the time to go. Nico, look at this. Rift to go, slurps, half shields. He's ready. He's got no elims. He's trying to look, saying, I've got time. I'll mess with this player. Sky Virus. Unfortunately, not the T Virus. Gonna get eliminated there.
So one fantastic thing that Nico did, and you might wonder why players are doing it, players will set up a ramp directly behind them and then force themselves onto the wall. This goes back to the conversation we had before about those yellow builds. If you put the ramp and then you're standing in it, because the other wall ends up being broken and you're phased into that one, as you step forward, that other wall gets full built and it kind of pushes you forward a little bit, but makes it a little easier to phase through into the walls. That's how Nico was able to get there and get that shot off. Well done from him there to close that one out. But the rest of the lobby, you have Rex, Psycho, Pine, all over on this side. We already saw Psycho have an incredible performance, and not gonna meme on that because it really was that good. But Rex gets the wall, gets the cone, has the trap on the back side, and Renuity can go hang out in.
right-hand side. Is he going to snatch up that opportunity to kind of jump on? Guess not. That player got right back in the baller, and down the hill he went.
Gotta go. No time to waste any of it. Player dropping in above. Epic Whale trying to follow through on that. Elam can't quite find it, and a big combat shotgun shot from that range. Very effective as Epic Whale's forced down to 76. Gonna have to play on the defense. Use that rift. Probably the last super safe time to use it, assuming nobody looks up. One of those players that may look up for too long. Jarvis, somebody we've had our eyes on a number of times for NA West already.
I was literally watching him back in the talent room. Jarvis.
That's real. I can confirm that he actually was.
Yeah, like just sitting there staring at his games because he's been having quite the run. A couple unfortunate hiccups, but all in all, just pretty decent run here. He's really made his way to the top of the radar, and I've been so interested to kind of follow his gameplay at this point. Up in the right-hand corner, guys, Victory Royale worth 10 points, but don't forget placements are all the way through. And talk about that, top 25 just grants Jarvis and everyone else in this lobby a couple more points just for being alive right now. And each elimination is worth 1. That's Nico who goes down to Jarvis.
Quick reaction, player pushing up. No builds for Jarvis right now, just 1, now 0, and shots come out from a corner edit up above. Jarvis gonna have to try and apply pressure. There's no other opportunity. Just kidding. Sculler goes down, looking for a back-to-back. Denying the feed just in case those Elams come in way too quick. Ruddy goes down as well. PGG Jarvis moving forward. Excellent set of plays. No materials still, though, after building himself into a box. Finds, an attempt on a player. The shadow bomb there, he got locked in on it. Somebody else from above does follow through with shots. Sealmat, his duo right here.
Yeah, a little bit of a standoff there. I see Kate and G all in those players' names, so bunch of friends basically at this point, all in the same lobby. But here they're enemies. Aiden jumps up, goes with the side hop, takes the high ground using the storm. But the cost, 60 HP to take this high ground, and the opponent didn't even expect it.
Not a big deal.
It was worth it.
Not a big deal, honestly. He may have spent the 60 HP. Use it as a commodity to make his way to the top. A very good push with the baller. Take high ground, shot from above. Combat shotgun, so powerful. We're going to see it again for just a second. Weapon swap it at the TAC AR. Looking for shots, watching for exposure on an opponent underneath. Drop it down.
A little scout to the high ground. Everything seems to be clear, and he knows players are working their way down. He's taking his time here. You don't ever want to get too close to your opponent. He's trying to find an opportunity. Will he find it here? As it's declining slowly but surely once again. He's keeping this high ground. He used a baller to get here. You can tell that he still has fairly comfortable materials for endgame. Deuces goes down there as Aiden is continuing to rain down top 3 situation. Trashy versus Little Chase. Trashy catches that one, and Aiden is now at 100 shield here in a 1v1 versus Trashy. Is he gonna be able to close out? We'll find out now.
Just a second here, Aiden moving forward, double layering up above. Trashy stuck on the low ground, no builds, shots from underneath, down to 69 HP. The shadow bomb in an attempt to maybe make a climb here using the tree potentially, but Aiden is doing an excellent job of zoning Trashy out. No attempt, no climb. He's taking an opportunity, pop a couple minis. It may not be enough though. Aiden stuck right next. No way! And Trashy with the 9,000 IQ play to literally just sit in the bottom. Exactly.
He faked him.
He popped the shadow bomb, but didn't even push. He sat, and Aiden spent all this time trying to track what couldn't even be tracked because Trashy was still in the bottom. Aiden literally lost an easily winnable game just because of an outplay mentally.
I promise you this, he'll never do that again.
Oh,
because
100%.
There's a distinct sound when someone jumps with the shadow bomb. And Aiden just, out of pure defense and safety, precaution, put up the planks to protect himself, but he traded out storm damage. I bet you Aiden never makes that error again right there. And this is the rinse and repeat that competitive players have to go through. You have to go through these and then learn from your mistakes most importantly.
It's like you ever see like the label warnings on a product and you look at it and you're like, why is that on there? But you realize that's got to be on there because it happened one time, right?
It can happen.
One time. And the same thing applies here. You don't think about it until you're in the situation where you're like, wait, this is a thing that I need to be concerned with because it caught you off guard and maybe cost you, in that case, potentially 4 points if Aiden had gotten the elimination and the push from the Victory Royale. Yeah, like you said, it's not going to happen again because I think Aiden's got the warning label on now, right?
That's right. And This is what the World Cup is all about, and that's why this is the best practice for qualified players, regardless. He's still a champ. We'll see him in New York City, but Snorrier catches that whiz. Very nice.
It's Arians, dude.
Oh
His
my.
name backwards. Bro,
Yo, call me way off. I'm like,
you got
sorry.
duped so bad. Oh, shout out to Harians for having a name that not even literally one of the most knowledgeable players I've ever seen. Monster D-Face can see it. If you have other names that are like that, anybody that's got a backwards one.
Whoever's working on you building your brand is fire them, because you're not winning with that.
Tag Monster D-Face on Twitter, hashtag Fortnite World Cup. We got to get a list of names for Monster to look out for so we didn't stumble on any more, right?
That was a tough one, dude.
Player taking shots all the way across, 32 remaining. We got 7 more to go before we're into placement points.
Here it is, Spook. Wait, did I read? No, it's Coops. It's Coops. No, this is right.
I'm going to be honest with you, I have no idea at this point.
We don't know anymore, but here it is, Spook. Hopefully, looking to pop someone here. Finds the window. It's a nice weak build right there, and oh man, building with Willet is terrible. Way above the threshold here. He's closing in on his top 25. Can he hold out? That's really what he's looking for. 38 points. He's in contention. There's still time to queue up here. He is totally in the running right now. And that's a big 3-piece right there. 2 huge legendary AR shots connect. One being a headshot, rips apart the shield. Combat follow-up, so clean. Spook goes back in to recycle the geyser and just gonna keep him in the air, just trying to get this placement right now.
2 quick ticks out in the storm, but does have the highest drop right now, slowly floating in. Bucky starting to take shots. Wouldn't surprise me if descent happens very quickly from those that are still floating because of that. Power on the bottom you saw for just a second, very low HP. Tricks picking Vita off the feed. Alex Toast getting an elimination. Power going down to himself and the storm. Hate to see that player on the outside. Alex Toast does get eliminated. Makin, 26 left. 1 more goes down. Whoever this 26th position is going to feel bad about missing placement points, but it is the way of the road, as they say, is the player. And we are now in the top 25 for placement. Everybody picking up 3 points. The community launchpad may be going to pay the price. Doesn't quite go down. Now Makin down to 66, catching a competing player, going for the same launch pad, and everybody's flying in here at Lazy Lagoon. We're basically headed straight. In fact, it's an entirely in the water 8th circle that we're moving towards right now.
And like placement was only just barely given out. As we're in 20 players on a riverbed, you can't walk down there.
Nope.
You have to build. This is such a weird end game.
I mean, you could try, but it's going to be real sad when you have to jump along the bottom. Look at this, Foxy Boxy taking shots and then immediately getting shot at from Ty Tanks above. Goes down and Ty pushes in to try and get the loot. Player competing for that. Barband going down outside. Spook rotating forward, maintaining basically the 3rd floor up. A rip, gonna use it, maybe not. Decides not to, gonna move forward. A player dropping in the same box. Surprise, I'm in the box too, and Dotback goes down. Spook maintaining all the way on the outside of the zone. A couple storm ticks. That siphon actually did end up saving him up to down to 49 HP now. 12 players left. Ty, Spook. A number of other players rotating in, stuck on the bottom underneath the waterfall.
He got up and over though. He did get up and over. That's going to be a weird place to rotate up, and he knows that's why he's looking right now, trying to see if he can find someone. Players are going to go down to the storm right now. That's 1. Iota goes down already. It's such a weird spot. Their struggle must be happening here. Synergy and Diggles fighting in the zone as well.
Quick edit and a shot. Combat shotgun rotating around the outside, trying to chase that player down. Decides not to continue pushing just in case somebody else might be there. Like Ty Tanks, a quick elim there, picking up another siphon. The 50 HP shield total there, very important.
Just a bit ago, he had 49 health, guys. Now he's at 150. He is in the game right here.
Swing.
Will he get to 200 in time? Nope, someone snatches it up, but it's okay. He catches Aaron's.
The rift.
Right there, and there is a free rift. Definitely want to use that. Everyone already to the sky at this point. Top 5, all placement points have been given out, besides the victory royale at this point.
Knocking on the ultimate low ground, taking shots. Traps to defend from anybody dropping in, like Just Chillin', who does go down very quickly. Another elimination, 7 now in 5 builds. Maybe looking for another shot on the players underneath. There are a handful down there. A quick grenade. I don't know if you caught that. Just tosses one down to see if he can get a hit on somebody. Maybe the 60 seconds before the storm.
Can he get it?
Dicks
Can
him
he
out.
get it?
Caught on the outside. He's got 1 build. Floor. He's going to push up, find it. Gets it.
Did he get it?
Bertsack.
Can he get the mats?
Dropping in.
He got a
Ape,
few.
He did.
Yeah,
he did. He's
just a
good
few.
still. 3 players now mocking in the ultimate low. And watch this. Everybody's about to get pushed in the air because the path of the storm. And that might...
He needs to hit the shot.
Oh my
no.
gosh. Staying just barely away from the vent. Almaken gets 4 eliminations. The Victory Royale and everybody else. At that point, because it was so close to the end of the game, nobody wanted to go for the vent because you're pushed up in the air, and with the circle that small, you are asking to tick out storm damage. You want to stay engaged, so a forced rotation out into the storm is the only option at that point.
Yeah, and that's why Spook was trying so desperately hard to push through that building and catch the Elam before he took off in the geyser, but he did manage to throw him up and couldn't get the Siphon to keep him in the game. But here we're Cryptic, charges back that bow. NA West, 30 minutes left to queue up and get the last bit of your games. 30 minutes, you can effectively queue maybe 2 full games, one from here to then, and then your last, but it's only if you have more than 2 games left, then you got to
Good
start
luck.
pushing through.
Yep.
We call those W key games. So as you see, the lobby right now is a normal lobby in a sense. As we approach towards the end tail, these lobbies are going to get probably like slimmed down.
And more, it's scarier and scarier every single time you go in there. Right now, you have to realize that these games are queued against players of relatively similar scoring. As we get closer to the end of the block, you're going to be looking at lobbies with players with very high point counts. Very, very competitive lobbies, very difficult lobbies. You're on West 2 spots, by the way. The top 2
man.
of 3,000 people. Top 2 of 3,000 people is... It's terrifying to think that that's how narrow it is. That's how few people make it through. We've gone through multiple weeks of this, of players trying to play out of their minds. Cryptic slays, picks up the first Elim. A couple easy shots, the AR from above.
It's that Boombo though, man. Ripped apart all the shield on that player.
Just recently nerfed too. A little bit of a
Drawback decrease.
a quarter of a second longer now, but players still very efficient with it. You just have to time it a little bit better.
Any kind of change to that weapon is welcome, I'm sure.
You trying to tell me that people have a problem with the relative utilization of a weapon? Fortnite Battle Royale, the ultimate Battle Royale experience? No way.
Of course not, dude.
Never. Smile.
Insane.
You're insane.
Here we have
You're insane.
Blixifer. 2 stinkers. We saw stinkers kind of clean up some players earlier today. Just an end game. No way to defend against it. Persian goes down. Now Blix, he can take this ball. He can just go through the loot if he really wants to. He's not going to do so. So he's going to be content with what he has and gets the next zone here.
Too risky at this point. He's got to rotate so far still, and you've got so many players that are still out here ahead of the zone. JP2 right there, King Flash at the top, challenging Cryptic Slays. Hunt as well, landing the same spot, and Spicy right underneath. Meanwhile, Saf from Ghost, looking to make a play down here in the bottom, decides to not get too aggressive and uses that rift, seeing most likely that right now, at the time of the rift, 27 players left. I think the option there was, I don't even want to risk it. I want my placement points, which he gets now.
Yeah, not only that, someone he had 2 players somehow end up in his box. One might have been a shadow, the other might have been a baller, so.
Exactly.
He is not trying to stick around there.
The best course of action, honestly. Down to 22 now, and he's got to make it to 15. You see the top right there, the placement required to get the next set of points.
He's doing pretty good for himself this game right here. He's got double heals going on, playing for the high ground, manages to take it up, and it's his.
Do it.
He's just got to run it up. He's connecting with all the combat. Someone is trying to break him down. Doesn't even matter. He does manage to connect here, and there's 2 or 3 players now above him. He's going to use that moment of distraction to lower his elevation and probably just go back on the hunt in just a bit here, but
Still getting
stinkers
pressure
are
above.
chasing.
One more needs to go down.
Look at that dodge right there. Sidestep fake out. Now taking down the high ground player again, but lets his guard down, and someone's already on it.
Actually did pick up an elimination fake. He jumped off the top. Ended up going down to that. In the feed right there. 11 players left. Saf, 2 eliminations, 56 builds, and it's pretty much all metal, which is perfect for late game. If you had to have a situation where you get 1 material at the end, it's got to be metal every single time. You use that to zone people out as the storm's pushing in behind. Slows them down because they have to try and knock out those walls, and it's going to take multiple hits. And at the same time, maybe a chance for you to edit back go for elimination. Hector here, the ultimate low ground. Moving forward, 35 points so far. Still in contention. Cryptic Slays in your feed, putting it down to the top 10 remaining. As Fett goes down.
Yes, indeed. There's a player right here. He does have the edit, makes the double shot, connects with a 136 combat. Just one hit was the one that took him down, but didn't break the wall in time. Is he going to be?
Oh,
No
what a
way.
bait.
King Flash was waiting for that. But hey, he brought in a slurp juice for King Flash. That's going to be a big come up for him. And
Special delivery.
let's look at how much health these players in the low ground have. No Flash, just gets one limb right there. It's going to put him back in. He did get hit.
Saf in the ultimate high ground, just big chilling with already built structures. In fact, he owns a number of them. You can see from this corner red, he's going to watch for the shots. Finds 2. That player's down to less than 50. He's going to push forward, and it's Cryptic Slays goes down. We are now in a top 4 situation. Cryptic at least getting the top 5 points there. 7 from that. 49, though, total for Saf. Looking to put himself in the top 10. Hopefully the top 2 if he can make his way all the way to the top. And speaking of the top, climbing out of the basically all the pre-built structures. Spicy, Sage peak right on top of each other. Spicy picks up that elimination. 3 players left. Schlump, the ultimate low ground. My friend out there in the corn. I feel that for sure. Saf in the ultimate high, dropping down, starting to descend. A little bit of fall damage. Both players at the bottom are literally dancing inside and outside of each other's builds right now. Corner edits happening. A ramp to push Spicy all the way in the bottom, and Saf
Such
and
a weird
Spicy to
place
1v1.
fight. It's the corn, it's the hayfield. Like,
He's got layers above him already for just a second.
Like,
Spicy's got 7
Saf's
builds.
like, no way, dude. I ain't going down there.
I want to see a Spicy push out just 2 or 3 floors out, launch pad to try and take high ground and push with a shotgun. Do it.
Saf's not having it. 1 campfire's down. There's the second, sits in the middle. Out comes the bandages, and that's his game.
Spicy was sitting on the launch pad. I would have loved to see him push out, put down a quick floor launch, fly up, and try and take high ground, shoot down from above, especially with a tactical shotgun. You don't have the range of the combat, so if you're going to try and compete with that, you're going to fail. AR shots from underneath, potentially, but with the amount of materials that you could already see the player above him layering up, double layering pyramids and floors. So at that point, pressuring with a high ground takeover, in my opinion, granted, I'm only me.
You're you.
But you never know. Like, I feel like that was the play. Thoughts?
I mean, think about it. There's only a couple of spots for qualification. If I'm being honest, to make it all the way through, you got to take risk. We've seen it happen all day today. 1-point differences, tiebreaker differences.
Yep.
You got to make risk right there. Like, that was an elimination you could have took, but he just said, you know what? He weighed this card and said, I have the bandage, I have the campfire. I'm going to go for the heal off. You lose a point. You leave a point on the field.
Was it NA East had, what, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 9th and 10th were all 60 points?
Yes, 4 players in a 60-point tiebreaker bracket, and Creo just barely eked out.
So you're looking at that and you're thinking, I should probably push this, maybe.
Don't leave anything up for grabs. Can't in those final moments, but
39 players left.
That's how it all kind of crumbles in that one. But here it is, symmetrical. We saw having quite the day today if he can continue to just hold out.
We had a chance to look at his first 5 games of the day, the breakdown, and he was so heavily weighted on placement. He's playing so strategically that 4 eliminations right now, multiple wins. I believe he had 3 games that were wins, and this might actually be one of them. We'll see before too long. One that he went out at 100th. Yushie, I know that feeling. Don't worry.
If you're going to go down, might as well be 100. Get all your time back.
Like, you know what? On to the next one. Keep on rolling.
You know, most players don't get 10 in anyway, so it is all good as, oh, poor Fishman right here. Wheels catches a ton of damage. It was white, so you know he's going to keep the pressure up here.
100%.
And yep, he's going to keep it nice and safe. He hears the minis. This is checkmate, buddy. Hello. Bye-bye. I mean, guess Ethan.
I'm assuming it's Ethan. Can't really tell. Question mark then. Put Wheels from WBG picking up a solid elimination. Good mechanical technique there. Getting the quick replaces, quick edits, the swipes. You can see him. I love that you can see him too, how fast they're activating the edit, swiping, confirming the edit, and then just quickly taking a shot. Sog is the ultimate high ground. Looks like a legendary AR in his hands.
I would not want to play on 60 hertz. I'm sorry.
Struggle.
That's rough.
It's the struggle.
Respect to Soggies on 60 hertz, man.
Who knows if that's UV? It actually is. The name itself, though, very funny. I commend him. Moving forward. Little corner edit. more and more players, instead of capping off with a ramp and flipping it, have been doing a pyramid and just choosing which corners they want to.
Damn, why did so many people join? I literally.
popped once the Shadow Form is ended, but either way, the damage has been done. Biles very weak at the moment. Gonna have to stop and pop this slurp. You see a player with the Boombo on the other side of this wall. That's a very